do you think of the new theme there, Fedora John?
Love it, love it. I should get like a little video of like my daughter like headbanging to it. It'd be awesome.
Yes.
Yeah. She has far more hair than I do at this point, so I would do it myself. But
24 seconds of pure hardcore madness for the fedora wearing Jon Hudson. Always a pleasure to have you back, my friend.
How are you, Dave?
I am very, very excited.
Yeah?
Very excited. Yes. Excuse me. And let me give the reason why.
Yes.
I did earlier in the show, but we've had a lot of people change up since then. I have booked for Spaced Out Radio on June 1st, Canadian Member of Parliament for Brandon Souris in Manitoba, the Honorable Gentleman, Larry Maguire, who brought forward a couple of weeks ago the UAP question of UAPs over Canadian nuclear facilities.
Gotcha.
All right. And I got it booked today.
Wow.
And then going on the news that Daniel Otis had last week, that, the UFO topic is finally heating up. And this will be the first and the longest public interview that Larry Maguire has given. And it'll be right here on Spaced Out Radio.
How long will it be? What's your plan?
We have him for an hour.
So I gotta ask, just because if I was listening, I'd want to know this. For someone in your role, considering the topics you focus on, is there any like apprehension on your part that you'd be able to like fill the hour, or is it more like you could fill like 18 of them and you're more worried about keeping it into the hour?
Well, there are certain guests that you bring on that, look, you're blessed to get them. The time doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It is going to be jam-packed with information. I want to know why. I want to know if he was in on the meetings. I want to know who he is talking to. Does Canada have its own UFO desk like the United States does? Are we getting one? Is it in talks? I'm going to hit him up for a bunch of questions.
And how does he feel about the new Kids in the Hall thing coming out? That's important too.
Oh, yeah. Sure. It's hockey playoffs right now, man. It's hockey playoffs.
What is it? Hockey? Oh, hockey, right. Hockey.
Yeah. And let me just find something here, because we're not on the radio side right now. We had some technical difficulties there. Let me just find these, and I will show them to our audience. Where are they here? Where did I put them? Oh, well, they're not there. Let me find them.
It's in the hall. I'm so excited. I'm squishing your heads. I'm squishing your heads. The girly drink drunk was the best routine. That was just him in the closet with all the blenders and the fruit.
Oh my goodness.
Freaking comic gold.
Is it in here? Did I put them in here? I put a few. I'm trying to find the photos that I took yesterday. I think I sent them to.
The ones of the what you were going to cast.
Yeah, the Sasquatch prints. Here we go. I'm just going to move this. When do you plan on
casting those?
I was going to go today, but work didn't play very fairly today.
Oh, what? Someone wanted to do something like buy something, like maybe like okay, yeah.
Yeah,
customers do that.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the trail. You'll notice there's still snow in the area. Here's the trail. It starts off in this upper area here, and then it comes through. There's a footprint there, another one there, another print here, another print here, and then it seems to turn around. There's another print there, and that's my ham hock right there. And you'll see this print here, unfortunately, due to the shadow. Should have put my
Damn,
foot.
Dave, you got big feet.
No, they're only size 9. This is about a 10-inch print.
Oh,
Right?
okay. So that's not like a big footprint, I guess.
No, this is what. So you can see the toes here.
What, you find like the runt?
Well, it's called a juvenile. And then the edge of the foot here. Here's the rounding of the foot.
Would the juveniles be out exposed the same way that the adults would be?
Well, according to Duke from World Bigfoot Radio, they are juvenile prints are very, very difficult to find.
Interesting. Oh, well, that's good to know. That's that means your find might have value in more than one area. By the way, Duke is going to be on
Jimmy Church
this week, I believe. I think Thursday. I think we should check. We should find out because that should be good.
And here's another one. I'm going to try and clean these leaves out of there. I got to get some tweezers.
Okay, so is the assumption then that like they're walking and for the most part they don't leave prints, but they occasionally leave one because they're just not paying attention, or do they occasionally stop and like grin and think he and then like press a little harder and then we'll keep walking and leave
really
one?
Thin. These feet were really thin. Really thin. At first, I thought it was work boots. Okay? I really did. And this back to the original print here. I really thought it was work boots. But the problem is when I looked in closer on this part here, especially on the heel, there was a couple things that I noticed. This creature, whatever it is, right in this area, had a really large, high arch in its foot. Number one. But number two, this heel here, unless someone in the middle of the cold was walking in bare feet, because it could be a human foot. I don't know. But it would make no sense for someone to say, hey, I'm going to go walk in some mud, especially out in the middle of nowhere when, it's cold out. But I also thought, like I said, it was a boot. But no, I'm not saying about. Okay. A boot, A-B-O-O-T, 2 words, a boot. Okay. But there was no tread that was sinking into the dirt. So that's what kind of caught me on this.
Gotcha.
Right? That's what kind of caught me on this. The length is about, I wear a size 9, and these are about a 9.5, 10. And that's the first one right there where it was stepping in. Now, I'm not sure if this is one from the same prints or if that's a bear track. Because there does seem to be some claw, looking what we call claw prints, and that would be a very tiny bear. I'm not sure about that one.
Interesting. Now, do you ever see any of the dermal ridges that some other people were collecting before?
Yeah.
And is that something you automatically see? Is that something that's fairly obvious?
Hard. So that is, and then there's one more here, just kind of going over. You can see the trail right there. Yeah. We don't need to worry about the break. We're not on radio. So you got the full trail here that's going on. And I'm going to get out there on Thursday and take another look out there. So, hi, Stunning Jessica. How are you? Lazarus, I don't care. No offense. I'm not trying to be rude here, dude. Don't care, but we don't slam people in our chat room. You know that. Vaughn, thank you for the super chat, dude. Appreciate that. Much love your support, man. So,
wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. Once
And
again,
so
there.
now, when do you think you're going to cast them? Tomorrow, then?
I'm hoping to. I'm going to go back out there tomorrow because my buddy Mike went out there today, right at the entrance of the logging road, and he went. He just had a feeling, and he went into this area right along a creek, and he started finding prints there too, different size prints, different shape prints. So we've now got two different spots on the same road, and there we go.
Interesting. You know, it would also be very helpful in the future, as you guys are doing this, when you do castings, to also include with the casting some aerial photography done with a drone, so that you can actually show where the castings were, what direction they were pointing in relation to trails or tree lines or power lines or anything like that. So that then you could then make some contextual linkage to physically where they were found, along with GPS tags and so forth, but have some kind of a visual picture from a drone, maybe 30 feet up. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know, you forget FLIR. I'm just saying, just good photography, you know?
Yeah. Alien Critter, yes.
Cool stuff.
Yes, right. You know what? I promise you guys, when I'm out there on Thursday, I will take more pictures. Normally there's a couple of big puddles there that we are normally looking at when that we call like when we pull up to these puddles on the road. They're usually quite big, not deep, but just big, and they are perfect areas for animal tracks. And like at one puddle you could find everything from birds to wolves to coyotes to to everything in between: bears, cougars, lynx, everything, moose. And so it's a very active area, right?
And they are seasonal in that they migrate, correct? So they'll come to a certain area, but they won't necessarily be there all year round.
Yeah, we're gonna do some casting on that and go from there.
Did you hear my question?
I'm sorry.
I asked if when you find them in your area, whether they stick around all year round or if they're seasonal.
I don't know, John. Because that area, when the snow starts to fall, it'll get 3, 4, 5 feet of snow in there. And there's just no way to get in there unless you have snowmobiles, right?
Gotcha.
So, yeah. I wish you could come up here. I'd love to show you the area.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, aside from just the print, it's got to be gorgeous.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Well, I mean, I've been through a lot of I've been through a lot of Canada. I'm well aware of how pretty it is there. I think it's probably one of the prettiest countries in the world.
Laura, I would say yes, that they are omnivores here. Hey, Kevin, how you doing, buddy?
But they only eat organic.
Just wait for the music to die down here. I just wait for this to die down. Just again, the alien critters question: were the tracks facing in the direction of high ground? They were heading up up the road. So the road was on an incline from water. They were probably 150 feet from water. There's a big in that area. There's a big marsh in there. Perfect. There's a couple of marshes actually. One. The prints were on the, like if you're driving down the road, the prints would have been on the left-hand side, and then 150 feet in, you got this giant marsh pond, whatever you want to call it, with an island of dead trees in the middle that I would love to cut down and put in my firewood stack. And then a little bit down further where the big puddle would be where the animals drink from, just down from there, there's another marsh as well. It's very marshy in that area. So there's a lot of good water sources. There's a lot of moose and porcupine activity in that area. And the land that we're trekking is all, it's all what we call crown land. So it's all public land. All right, John, let's get to her, buddy.
That was some cool stuff, man. That was like, I mean, I wish there was some opportunity just to. It's one thing I need to research in my own area. Is just there's got to be places, just places you can go just to, be able to observe anything unusual. I don't, and whatever whatever field it may be, just whatever. Yeah. So there's kind of some interesting stuff going on. So the first fun one is our friends over at the Sun, which generates all sorts of emotions in all sorts of directions. But what we have is a pretty entertaining article that is specifically talking about an interview that Lou Elizondo did. But the entire slant of the interview is very, very, very focused on abductions. And very, very focused on the fact that that Elizondo is essentially in his role as head of ATIP, essentially confirmed from their point of view that abductions were being looked at by his organization. And now I don't me personally, like I would have to double check that myself. Because to be very, very honest with you, just because you see Elizondo quoted here, I wouldn't take that to the bank as to say that he actually said that. You just want to be a little bit more careful. But essentially, what they do claim that he did was they asked him, did you investigate military personnel suffering an abduction? To which he responded, yes. And unfortunately, I can't go into it more than that at this time. So, I mean, that assuming that quote was taken, verbatim, then that is pretty damn close to a straight up admittance as you're going to get. So, I think there's a really good chance this is all playing out how it looks. But I do find it kind of interesting that this entire article is kind of approaching it with a very focused view on the abduction aspects of it, versus all the other things that Elizondo was talking about during that interview. You
know what? I like how he's getting a little bit braver to talk about it. And what we also have to remember too is that when he starts talking about these type of questions, he has to get permission to discuss them first. And his higher ups, whoever they are at the Pentagon or the alphabet agencies, are the ones who are saying, okay, now you can talk about this.
Yeah, well, it's actually there's boards. I mean, it's a very rigid approval process. It takes quite some
absolutely
time.
it is. Absolutely it is. So it's amazing. It still amazes me that they're opening up that type of conversation.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I completely agree. I think it's very, very, very interesting, and I think it's the other thing I'm curious about too is that do we have a scenario where someone like Lou, for example, okay, so take for example, there's another individual who um, will occasionally present on topics, and he will actually send his presentation to the agency to have them check it beforehand, right? So then the question becomes: Is someone in Lou's role basically navigating through the ebbs and flows of the community, and then when they run into things where they feel they need more legroom on, they then go back and submit something to say, hey, we'd like to talk more about this? Or is it something more, shall we say, manipulated, where it's a sort of thing where because of the length of time it took, actually all this stuff gets approved maybe on a year time frame or maybe a 5-year time frame? Lou has a whole boatload of things that he's then releasing on an agreed upon schedule. But the truth of the matter is that a lot of the stuff had to get properly declassified quite some time ago because of the lag involved in actually getting those things declassified.
Right. Okay. So I just find it thrilling. I do. That it is opening up to the conversation. All right, let's move on here to the second topic du jour, which will be pyramids, money pits, and Skinwalker Ranch. What's going on there, John?
This is cool. Okay, so so muons, okay, are particles that come from the sky and go into everything. And essentially, when a while ago they discovered, and boy, am I simplifying that. And a while ago, you remember they found this this new cavity in the Great Pyramid at Giza, and they haven't been able to explore it yet, but they did find a large cavity. Well, the way they found it was with muon detectors, right? And the Great Pyramid was the first time that I'm aware of it's been used in archaeology like this. And basically, what happens is that they have to go underneath the area that you're going to explore, and they lay down these different plates and so forth. And essentially, it takes a long time. And as they start gathering all these muons, because of the way things are impacted as the muons hit them or go around them or through them or however it deals with that material, they can essentially what it becomes is damn beautiful radar for underground, right? It's damn beautiful radar for underground. Now, we all heard about it happening with the pyramid. Well, then in the season finale of that Canadian show, Oak Island, they announced that they had partnered with the same company that that did the Giza pyramid, and in that episode, they started syncing all the collection devices around the island, and they're actually going to image Oak Island from the bedrock up, right? Which means we are going to get basically what it means is that there might be no more hunt and peck. It'll just be, oh, look, there's a cavity. Is there anything in it? No. Oh, look, there's a tunnel. Is there anything in it? No. Oh, look, there's a, well, there's a good connection between the Oak Island team and the Skinwalker Ranch team. So, while I haven't heard any of this directly, and I've actually asked, I've at least on not formally, but just asked him on Twitter. I did ask Brendan, if he looked into this yet. But I think that if the Oak Island guys actually see significant success, because the company's actually made a lot of progress in their technology, um, if they end up seeing significant success, I think there's a good chance that in a year we might actually see the same sort of deployment at some place like Skinwalker Ranch or another location that we're all vastly curious about what might be going on underneath, and we want to be able to eliminate what is underneath from the phenomenon happening above, so that we can start like caging where things are happening and where you can start mucking with things, right? Like right now it's so hard. I mean you could spend all your life looking for a surface level source and not even know that every source is actually 60 feet below, right? I mean, it's a rotten way to do things, right? So having those Muon, basically being able to do that, it could be absolutely huge. Like I said, I haven't heard anything specific about Skinwalker Ranch. The only thing I know for sure is what they're doing it at Oak Island. But I'm very, very excited about Oak Island doing this, and I'm hoping that it turns into other sites as well.
Finally, tonight with you, John, the To the Stars Inc. Media, whatever the hell they are these days, are back again crowdfunding for money. Some may say begging. I'll use crowdfunding.
Well, I don't even know if, well, I mean, like, is it really I don't know if it's really crowdfunding. It's just a stock offering. It's just a stock offer. I mean, I guess you could call it a crowd offering because they're not doing it. I guess they're not doing it as part of a SEC. Anyway, the point is that it's the same sort of thing they did before, right? So when TTSA first left their stock, did a stock offering. When was it? I think it was 2017. Was it 2018? Whatever it was. They did it then, and basically it's all just you send the money, and they basically send you the certificate. And so basically what's happened is that as as TTSA has evolved, now that they're transferring into a media company, I guess there's I guess there's some, well, I don't know. I don't know what, okay. Normally when you do an offer, a stock offer, you give a story around it, like why you're doing it, like what you're planning on doing with the money, and like why it's important, and all this stuff. So I don't know what their story is for this. I don't know what they're claiming they're going to do with this money. And the other thing I haven't been able to find out yet is exactly what their pricing's at, because this is something that's really, really important to pay attention to with startup companies. And that is that each time they go out for money, right, their valuation should increase significantly. What that means is the price per share should go up. Even though it's not publicly offered, even though it's not trading anywhere, you manually turn it up, right? You manually, if what happened with TTSA was they did the first stock offering at I think it was $5 a share or something. They did the second one at $5 a share, and it was like, ooh, that's not a good sign. So I don't know what this offering's at, but I'm really worried it's going to be at $5. So we'll see. But the thing is that, I mean, when you get down to it, the whole pitch for TTSA, as I understood it before, was, look, we know how to do media, right? But we really want to do is science. We have people to do the science. We don't have the budget or the facilities to do the science. So we're going to go do the media stuff to raise a bunch of money, and then we're going to get a bunch of money from you, and then we're going to go back and do this crazy science. But the truth of the matter is the science was the crazy risky part. What they were actually good at and knew how to do was the media. So what they're really just doing is focusing on what they're good at, right? And to that end, if they come out with, I mean, you look at what happened with, okay, I shouldn't use this as an example because the people that were involved in this organization are on a completely different playing field. But you look at like the DreamWorks team, right? Or like one of these movie studios that comes out, at some random time, and and suddenly they come out with like 4 or 5, decent hits in a short period of time, that becomes an influential group of creative folks, right? And so, if it turns out that TTSA ends up putting out, 4 or 5 different media properties that all end up becoming, significant revenue generators, then there really could be a return on that investment. And so you really could argue that this stock offering is far less risky than the previous ones were. But I haven't actually read into anything to know for sure, and I'm certainly not offering any technical or financial advice. Please consult your stock folks and everything. But it is a very interesting occurrence, just especially because it is TTSA, and it is our favorite boy band, Tom DeLonge, right?
Well, let's get to Shirky Poo's news, man. I know I just can't believe they're doing it again. I cannot believe they're doing it again. And
well, let me add real quick, Dave, that you don't do this unless you know there is some appetite, which means they went out and they actually got a bunch of people to agree in principle that they would buy if the offering was made. And it's only when you get about 20% of what you want to give out subscribed to prior that you really feel safe going out. So that's the really funny part. The really funny part is they got a bunch of people to do it.
God bless them.